Well, we are in Pennsylvania because that's where these 20 school workers that are accused of child abuse, abusing 26 children, are located. I know this isn't law enforcement here, but these people are getting paid with tax dollars. All property taxes, state income taxes, sales taxes, and federal grants. Where do they think the federal grants come from? Taxpayers. So we're going to be looking at this school in particular in Pennsylvania and see what's going on.
I do want to go out to a story that we have just been brought to our attention with this feed about the last 10 minutes ago. We want to bring this to you here out of Pennsylvania. We are learning that...
Also, I would like to note that 79% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. You got your phone in your hand, click the button, and we'll move along.
20 school workers have been charged with abuse, and they are alleged to be doing issues here with abuse as far as physical harm and also mental harm as well. So let's listen in on Live Now from Fox.
We're here today, as you all know, we charged earlier today 20 individuals who worked at the Chester Community Charter School with child abuse. 9 of the individuals actually, according to the surveillance videos we've reviewed, actually laid their hands on children and abused them physically. 11 other individuals who are sort of different roles in the school turned their backs and looked the other way, or in fact oftentimes looked right at the abuse happening and failed to report it. So they are...
These people were caught on surveillance cameras. Did they not know the cameras were there? Or they just didn't care? I don't know.
Charged with failure to report. All of these employees, all 20 people, have a duty under Pennsylvania law to report instances of child abuse. They are mandated to report that by law. So by not reporting it, they violated the law. We've also charged those 11 individuals who witnessed this without doing anything with endangering the welfare of those children. But there are 9 individuals who we have surveillance videos that I've watched of them putting their hands on these children, some as young as 5. It's their K to 5 years grades, and these are children who are in an emotional support program. And so in the surveillance videos, you can see them doing pressure point holds on the child's shoulder, causing them pain. You can see them grabbing their hands and putting them in front of them to restrain them. Oftentimes you can see them then using their knee to take the child to the ground. In at least one incident I saw them jack a kid up against the wall. This is just unacceptable behavior to happen anywhere, but particularly in a school setting for children who are supposed to be getting emotional support.
Children that are there to get emotional support, help, and this is what they get. This is ridiculous. Anybody involved in this should be under the prison.
So we are thankful that the Chester Township Police, as soon as this came to light, Officer Strofe and Detective Mullen, working with our office, my Deputy District Attorney Kristen Kemp, have investigated this matter. It's still an ongoing investigation, but we've charged these individuals and we're moving forward, and I assume you all might have some questions.
Can you talk about the emotional support program, first of all, so we understand that these kids are supposed to be getting help with their emotions and they're getting attacked in the classroom?
Exactly right. I mean, my understanding is these are children who it's been identified that they need more help at that age, at a very tender age, K to 5 grades we're talking about here. And so these people are supposed to be giving them extra support as they're trying to learn in school. And instead, oftentimes, they're just either intimidating them physically and then laying hands on them. It's very disturbing to see the surveillance videos.
Jack, could you tell us the relationship between the contractor and the school and who was involved there, and are they just as culpable as the school and vice versa?
My understanding, and again, this is a continuing investigation, is that most of these, if not all of these employees, I don't think all of them, but most of them were contracted through this organization, Peak Performance. Thank you. They're supposed to be keeping records, they're supposed to be training, and they've told the school that they were doing all of that. The law enforcement investigation is finding that to not be true, that they haven't trained these people in the proper way to restrain a child, if you have to restrain a child. And the school is under an obligation, I think you see it in the complaint, that if a child is restrained at any time, that has to be reported by the state. So I think there are some issues here for both the school and certainly for this company that was providing some of these employees, because the school wasn't looking at their own surveillance video.
Jackie, affidavit.
The school wasn't even looking at their own surveillance video. What's the point of it if nobody is monitoring it?
Describes this as systemic. It wasn't sporadic, it wasn't incidental. This was something that was known about, that people ignored or participated in. Is your office investigating the rest of that school just to make sure that this isn't taking place anywhere else?
Yeah, great question. So we are, as I mentioned, Alex, it's a continuing investigation. If you see from the complaint, most of the incidents that we've charged happened between November and December of last year. We're still looking at video. So there will be more work being done by these great officers.
There needs to be CCTVs inside of all these schools, all these classrooms, streaming 24/7.
Officers from Chester Township who picked up the cudgel when we first got complaints in the door. They have been investigating this nonstop. But Chief Colson, who I spoke to this morning, is absolutely committed to continuing the investigation, and if there are more charges warranted, we're going to bring them.
Do you think that there are more victims out there? And if so, what's your message to these parents in the state?
I can't tell you how many more people. 26 children have been identified as people who are victims already. We also know that some young people witnessed these things happening and may not have been actually victimized themselves. That's another form of victimization. I think, again, to Alex's point, this is a systemic problem in this school where these kids in this program were living in fear, a lot of them. So if there are more victims, we would love their parents to come forward. It probably took a lot of courage for these young children to tell their parents what was happening in school and why they were afraid to go back to school. But as we're interviewing these children, we're getting the stories. And if there are more people and more children who want to come forward, we are here for them, as are the Chester Township Police.
Have the victims' families seen these videos? And just your thought as a human being watching these?
Yeah, I don't think that they've seen the videos. As a parent, I'm really disturbed to think that when you send your child to school, that somebody who is being paid to take care of your child is actually hurting them.
And paid, I'm confused as to how this school is paying this company this much money every single year. Just wait.
It's just frightening. Just as a human being, it's awful to watch these grown people, the way they're treating these young kids. And you can just imagine what this is going to be like for those children going forward. This is just not the way we're supposed to treat young people, particularly in a school setting. It's been a complete failure. And I'm outraged by it. Talking again to Chief Colson this morning, he hasn't seen anything like this either for a long time in his career. And so that's why we want to make sure that we brought the charges as quickly as possible, but also to continue the investigation to make sure that we've stopped it.
And Jackie, 20 individuals, 26 students. Have you seen a case like this where this many people are involved?
Not like this. And again, one of the more disturbing things is how there are people sitting there watching it happen. Sitting in the teacher's desk watching these kids get abused. And the surveillance video doesn't have audio, but you can see from most of these attacks, these children are just sitting there. And an adult comes over and starts pinching their shoulder till they're writhing in pain, and then putting them in restraints, and then picking them up. Meanwhile, there's an adult just sitting there watching it all happen. I'm as outraged by that as you can imagine, right? Both the fact that somebody is physically assaulting these kids, but also educators, people who are working in the school, just allowing it to happen. Systemic. Look the other way.
How long was the school operating with this company? How many years?
Don't know.